I am Sueli Bonaparte, founding president of the Brazil-Florida Business Council, an international business group based in Tampa Bay. Our mission is to foster bilateral trade and investment flows into our regions and contribute to the economic and social development of our communities. In our series, Leadership in Time of Crisis, we invite CEOs and presidents to hear from them how they are leading their corporations, how they are navigating during these turbulent times, and what are their perspectives for the coming years. And today, we have the pleasure of hosting Paul Anderson, President and CEO of Port Tampa Bay. The port is an economic engine in the Tampa Bay region, supporting thousands of jobs directly and indirectly. So I would like to take this opportunity to send a huge shout out to the Port Tampa Bay and its entire team for celebrating 75 years this year. Congratulations and welcome, Paul.
Thank you, Sueli. It's a real pleasure to be with you today. And we at Port Tampa Bay really value our strategic partnership with the Brazil-Florida Business Council. It has been a truly rewarding experience for us to work with you and your membership, and I'm delighted to be here with you today.
Thank you very much, Paul. What has been the impact of the pandemic on Port Tampa Bay?
Well, fortunately, Port Tampa Bay has been spared in a lot of the typical downturns that some other ports may have seen because of the diversification that we have at the port. And we've weathered this pandemic storm much better than a lot of others because of that diversification. While we continue to be impacted by the loss of cruise business, which was 20% of Port Tampa Bay's business. We had over 1 million cruise passengers last year. We were on track to reaching about 1.3 million. We had announced with 3 new cruise lines they would be starting operations this November. But the diversification that we have of cargoes, including petroleum, aggregates, building construction materials, lumber, steel, cement, they're significant contributors to the port. And the emergence of containerization here at Port Tampa Bay, a cargo that we didn't have much business of as recently as 2 years ago. So adding containerization on a global basis has really helped us grow. And we've seen significant growth year over last, including during this time during the pandemic.
And how has the Port Tampa Bay responded to the challenges of the pandemic?
Well, as we've done a lot of things that a lot of people have done. We are, first of all, I believed it was really important to be good, excellent communicators to our publics and both our external stakeholders and our internal stakeholders, our employees, our fellow team members at Port Tampa Bay. We developed right away, first, a number of protocols that we deployed in our cruise terminals that transferred over into the administrative workplaces, our other terminals, that we provided deep cleaning, some products that we introduced that were emulated by a number of our peer groups as well. We also created a back to work task force, a reentry task force. How did we come back to work? We did that back in late March, where we developed a team, and then we started meeting regularly as a senior management team. we do 3 senior management calls a week that has allowed us to actually communicate more across the board than we probably were doing before the pandemic, because each of our senior management team members or a representative from each of their departments is represented on this phone call. And what I've found is it's created a deeper camaraderie among our employees. Particularly, we're all going through this together. And I think that's also been a little bit of a powerful way to build on the culture that we already had in place at the port, where I'm a firm believer of empowering your people, giving them the tools they need, training, leadership programs, rewarding them for the performance that the port has seen. We've broken revenue records 8 out of the last 9 years, and including your employees and how you reward them for that was very important. We're a 24/7, 365-day-a-year operation, and we also are 24/7, 365 during the pandemic. So we've had to have people out in the workspace, in the port complex, security, facilities, operations. And we've been telling our customers what we're doing, best practices. In addition to that, we also started a weekly update that featured one of our port tenants and what they were doing, an individual from the port, from any line of our business that might be out there. And we were telling the human side of the story to a lot of our tenants, our stakeholders, and I feel that was really important. We were deemed very early on as essential employees, all port employees, tugboat operators, pilots, crane operators, truck drivers, and all of our employees. So it was very important that we let the community at large know. And now here in early December, I think we'll all remember this, and we'll all have COVID-19 stories when we look back on this. But we were pretty concerned about the supply chain. There was runs on certain products that still don't make sense to me. I think we're all familiar with going to the store and there's no paper products, and things of that nature. People were worried about going to stores, but we wanted to reassure the public that we were open for business and we were delivering the goods that were important. Had there been a shortage of goods, there could have been real panic. And fortunately, with the exception of some of the products that people were hoarding, for lack of a better word, we haven't seen that here at the port. So we've done a lot of things. We've done a lot of focus on wellness. I was very concerned about the health and wellness of our team. It's something that we've been doing. Again, what was built in your culture before the pandemic, there were, if you had strengths in certain areas, one was we had a great wellness program. We incentivized participation in that, contest, steps per week, steps per month, rewarding those with our healthcare provider, in this instance, Florida Blue. They've done a fantastic job working with us. And then also, we've developed a strategic partnership with USF's College of Nursing. We've done a couple of webinars, and one of the outcomes is we're going to be putting a facility on the port for well care for mariners that come into the port and other employees that are here. So there's been some really good positive outcomes from things we've done as a result of COVID.
What does the future looks like for the Port Tampa Bay, and where does the trade with Brazil fit in?
Whaley, very good questions for us, and something that we have really focused on both pre-pandemic and during the pandemic. And we've actually seen some real good business growth, again, not with the exception of cruise. Give you 2 examples. We had a biweekly lumber service with Europe start during the pandemic. That was new business we had never had before. It was directly supporting. Everybody has, I think, come to realize during the pandemic that construction has actually gained strength. Roadways you see in Florida Department of Transportation, accelerating timelines and investments in infrastructure projects to take advantage of the downtime. So we saw an increase in many of the construction lines of business. I mentioned earlier, cement, aggregate, road building materials, steel. The other area that I feel that we just announced, again, another container weekly service to Mexico, and that's with Zim, something we had been working. Zim is an Israeli-owned company that we'd had in the port for over 20 years, a small, with then not a global service, but we've built on that. Our container growth has been over 33% year over last, and we're going to continue to see a strong double-digit growth in that container, and we're seeing it every week. We're setting records. So the growth, I'm very bullish on. Much of the optimism is due to the strong continued growth forecast that we're seeing. The I-4 corridor continues to announce new distribution centers. That has been a key part of our business strategy for attracting those weekly services that go around the world, starting in Asia, coming into the Gulf of Mexico, coming into Tampa. And the Brazil is, as you asked, what's our strategy there? Well, Brazil has already been the #1 trading partner for Florida and Port Tampa Bay. And it encompasses a wide range of products that are very important to our port. Juice, we've mentioned phosphate, fertilizer, a number of products that we were already carrying and importing and exporting here in Port Tampa Bay. We're very bullish on that growth with Brazil. We think it'll continue to be our #1 trading partner, and our business development team stays focused on it. And of course, working together with you and the Brazil-Florida Business Council, we continue to identify and pair new partners that we have opportunities to work on.
Thank you very much, Paul. It's been a pleasure to work with you and your team. And I would like to take this opportunity to also thank you and Port Tampa Bay for supporting the mission of the Brazil-Florida Business Council. You have been a loyal member and a partner, and I look forward to continue working with you and your team in the coming years. Again, thank you very much. And I would pass over to you again for your final remarks if you have any.
Thank you, Swaley. We are proud partners with the Brazil-Florida Business Council. I want to thank you for your leadership and for bringing together so many partners and companies that we work with. We couldn't have done this alone. Partnerships are a cornerstone to how we get things done, and you have been truly one of our most outstanding partners that we work with, and we thank you for everything that you do.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, and you know that you can count on us. Thank you very much. And if I don't talk to you, if I don't see you before then, have a wonderful holiday season.
You as well.
Family.
Thank
okay?
you.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.